This past May, Mad Max Fury Road was a financial success and a big hit with both critics and fans. However, we still have not heard any official word yet on a possible sequel. While plans are being put together, it seems that the studio is trying to decide between two separate scripts. In a recent interview with Top Gear, director George Miller said the following: "So we ended up with two scripts without really trying. We're talking to the studio about it as we speak, but which one of those two stories will happen next? I'm not so sure. I want to do a small film without special effects before I do any of that, just to do it quickly. We shot Fury Road for 8 months. That's a lot. Every day in the heat and the dust doing these stunts. It's very wearing. We've got 2 more planned, but at some point in the future." Jason, what stands out to you in Miller's comments?
You know what stands out to me is that he says he has 2 more ideas and that he wants to go make a small movie first. And so that's fine. Yeah, I get it. You want to cleanse your palate, George Miller. Go cleanse your palate. Go make live action Happy Feet. Cool, we're good. But if you have 2 ideas and you're like, well, we're not quite certain which one to do, trilogy is the word of the day in Hollywood. Make both. Warner Brothers give him all the money, have him make both the movies at the same time, Back to the Future, Lord of the Rings style, and then we get 2 more Mad Max movies. I think that's why not?
There's a couple things that stand out to me about this. Number one, and I kind of wish Schnepp was here right now to talk about this. Remember, there's been a lot of whispers and rumors and rumblings about maybe George Miller doing a Man of Steel sequel, and maybe soon.
Which I think he denied, though.
Which I heard he denied, but the rumors continued. Well, if he's now saying, my next film, something other Mad Max could be Superman, small, no special effects. So I think that kind of puts that to rest right now. One of the things that I think a lot of people lose sight of is that Mad Max was not that big of a financial hit. Now, Grant made $400 million worldwide, but on a $150 million budget, it was profitable, definitely. But nobody wants to remember this. Mad Max got bitch slapped by Pitch Perfect 2. Remember that?
Yeah,
the 2 opened on the same opening weekend, and Pitch Perfect 2 just destroyed Mad Max, which to the shock of a lot of people and not so much to some others. So I understand why the studios, because at one point I was thinking, what's the holdup? Like, you just, opening weekend, you announce another Mad Max. Why isn't this official yet? I can get it. They probably are looking at ways to probably reel in that $150 million budget, maybe get back to the $120 million range, something like that. Apparently on set, you know, there was some friction between Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron. Apparently they don't get along at all, so you got to come up with something. You can't exactly have the same sort of story. So that's interesting as well. I really think that one of these 2 scripts is a Furiosa.
Oh,
maybe outside of Max
if they didn't consider that possibility.
Because really, Mad Max Fury Road really was her movie.
Oh, yeah, totally.
For just about every case like that. So I don't know, how does this all stand out to you?
It does make me nervous, and I have total faith in George Miller, and what he did with Mad Max Fury Road was awesome. But when you hear there's 2 stories, it's like, do they complement each other to the point where you could have a trilogy, or is it where they're looking at 2 scripts, like which one works? Like which storyline are we going to go with here? We're at a fork in the road here, as opposed to saying, let's make this movie, then this movie. So I have a little bit of concern there, but as far as George Miller, his next movie being his smaller, tiny film, I love that idea.
Yeah, me too.
I like when filmmakers do that. I thought it was really cool when Joss Whedon had The Avengers come out, and then he went and did Much Ado About Nothing for like 2 weeks in black and white. It's a neat change of pace for filmmakers like that. Something that's going to be very refreshing for George Miller. Like you said, that's a 73-year-old dude who was in the desert for 8 months, and you have all this money, and you hope you're spending it in the right way. I think the next 2 Mad Max movies, I think there will be 2 more. I think they're going to do incredible business worldwide because the critical success of the first one
and the fan reaction
and the fans loved it. As long as you don't open up against Pitch Perfect 3, it's going to be #1 at the box office whenever it comes out.
Or maybe he will just to spite him.
and let's not forget, it is the Christopher Nolan formula that works so well. Christopher Nolan did a Batman film, then what did he do? Do another Batman film right away? No, he went off and did, I don't know which order. The Prestige. And he did another Batman film. Then he did a separate film. Then he did his 3rd Batman film. So he kept changing it up. He kept himself fresh. It was the right way. And I like hearing that George Miller's thinking that way too.